Sunny Edinburgh. Wow, wow. Well, I'm down here in London. It's an absolute scorcher today, mate.
Yeah, it's not so hot here. Typical Edinburgh.
So thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, I've cooked up one of your T-bones a little bit earlier from the Hawksmoor at home kit, and I'll letting that rest, and I'll slice that up in a minute. But yeah, interested to know a little bit more about yourself and a little bit more about Hawksmoor. So you've been there since 2015, I believe, mate.
Yeah, I think so I think I'm into my 6th year now. I always wanted to change. You know what? I always cooked in Michelin-star restaurants. I wanted to do something a little bit different environment, and Hawksmoor just seemed at the time a great place to go. I mean, their ethics and the way they do things is no different to those amazing restaurants that I worked in before. So Hawksmoor is exactly the same as them. Okay. It's just slightly different. And yeah, six years on, it's amazing. It's the best job I ever had.
Oh, nice, mate. Nice. Yeah, no, I've been to all of the Hawksmoors in London, and I love every single one of them. So yeah, it's a great environment. So your background, are you mostly a steak man? What's your how do you see yourself there?
I'm not. Listen, my background was always in fine dining Michelin-star restaurants. I'm very lucky from the age of like 16 years old, from the Ritz Hotel into Michelin-star restaurants, and that's all I did. I almost became a one-trick pony. But the bottom line is, my favorite food was always steak and chips. It's probably most people's favorite food. It's the go-to luxury meal, and it has been for years, and it is more so than ever. And I thought, you know, what potentially could I bring to Hawksmoor? It was great anyway. So keeping it great and making it greater was something that I wanted to be a part of. Yeah, just I spent time with the guys, with Will and Hugh, and you know, different people within the company, and here I am now.
Okay, well, just quickly, there's one of the there's the porterhouse I cooked up a little bit earlier. It's still ready.
That looks great, mate.
Hopefully I've done it justice, mate. Done it a good job. I use the probe though. I'm not as professional as a chef. I can't quite test it just yet. Hillary,
that's all nonsense. Just use a probe, mate. I use a probe. I've been cooking 30 years. It's without doubt the best way to check a piece of beef. Science generally isn't wrong. So if it tells you, you know, if you want it medium rare, take it off about 45, bring it up to about 55. It's what we call idiot proof, and it's what I do. It's what I teach my kids to do. We just do it. It's just easier with pieces of fish, big pieces of meat. Remember, if you're trying to touch it with your hand, everyone feels different things. It's almost impossible to get it right all the time.
Okay.
This way will be right all the time.
Perfect. All right, I've done that there, and I'm going to do the fillet and the ribeye a little bit later as well. You know, a question for yourself then. Do you have a favourite cut of steak then, mate?
I think the chef's answer has got to be ribeye, right?
Yeah.
All chefs love the ribeye.
Sirloin.
Yeah, sirloin's probably close to the bottom for me. I mean, the thing is with steak, it's very subjective, right? Everyone likes different things. I at the moment, I'm really into fillet, but it depends what you eat it with. I love bone marrow, so I want a side of bone marrow with my fillets. I don't think if I have a ribeye that I need bone marrow.
No, yeah, it's got plenty of that fat coming through in it.
It's got plenty of that, yeah. So I love bone marrow that much. So I want my fillet. If I come to Hawksmoor, the fillet, bone marrow, anchovy hollandaise, and some dripping fries is one of the best meals you'll ever eat. You can go to any fancy restaurant around the world, any whatever. But I'm telling you, that is one of the best meals you will ever eat.
Oh, thank you. All right, well my mouth watering, waiting for this steak to come out, and I'm going to cook that ribeye in a minute. Yeah, ribeye is my favourite steak. I mean, I do quite like a bit of a tomahawk, but you know, it's only for the little bit more theatre involved than the you know, the ribeye.
The theatre's great for a tomahawk, right? People, it's the same as a ribeye. It's the same as a prime rib. But you get that massive bone, which if you've got guests around your house or you're doing a barbecue or whatever, looks absolutely amazing.
Definitely.
But you know, you don't really get any extra meat on it. You get the extra fat part with slight bits of meat, but the theatre of it, as you said, is absolutely amazing.
And so, are you a bit of a barbecue fan yourself? Like outside of working there, do you like a bit of a barbecue at home, or you get the chance?
You know what? I lived in Australia for 3 or 4 years. That's where I started barbecuing.
Okay.
And I could sit here and tell you all sorts of things, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm absolutely rubbish at barbecuing. I don't have the patience for it. Fortunately, I get by it by I just know how to cook a bit of steak.
Okay.
Rather than a lot of the theory that goes behind it. I'm not a big fan of smokers and that sort of thing. It's just it's just not my preference. Yeah, but who doesn't love a barbecue? Loads of steak, loads of different cuts on there is absolutely amazing. But I'm probably not in your league.
Oh, right.
Well, you must be all right. You've got the barbecue lads.
Well, thank you for thinking of me that way. I'm a amateur backyard barbecue cook. I like to cook lots of different things. I like to put a little bit of theatre into it. I like to sort of say to people, look, get out and grill in your backyard. And as much as barbecue is about sort of the cooking, I like, the social side of it, to sort of show people, look, make a bit of a theme of your barbecue, or try a few different things like barbecue oysters, which I've seen in your book, in the Hawksmoor book. Yeah. Try some seafood, try all sorts of different things. There's lots of different ways. So Australia, tell me a little bit about Australia, mate. I didn't realise, I didn't see that. I checked out the CV.
I loved Australia. I'd spent, I think, three and a half years there. I spent 6 months in Brisbane and then 3 years in Sydney. Okay. And it's, I loved the old barbecue and BYO. Which, even today just makes me smile. Just that when someone says to me, BYO, I ask, what is that? But actually having BYR barbecues as well, where you bring your own steak and bring your own sausages and, bring your own beer and stuff. And but I loved Australia. I loved the scene. It was something totally different for me to do. Remember, I was always involved in the Michelin star French side of things. Okay, yes. Whereas Australia was totally different. It was almost like anything goes. Yeah. There weren't any rules, lots of Asian, still the French, British, lots of Italian food. And I loved it. And I still have my permanent residency, so I can go back and live whenever I feel free, really. Oh, mate, if you're there, I'll come back and visit you down there, mate, and have a barbecue. Sydney's a pretty awesome place. I'm from regional Australia, and I worked in Sydney for a bit, so I'm from way out in the country, hence my accent sort of a bit thicker. What's regional? Where's that? A place called Albury. I don't know it, but I did live. When I say I lived in Brisbane, I lived in Toowoomba. Toowoomba, okay, yeah. Which was at the time was a massive culture shock for something totally different, right? Toowoomba is, but yeah, I loved Australia. I've got nothing bad to say about Australia. Okay, yeah, I couldn't imagine a lot of cordon bleu in Toowoomba at all, mate. Zero. But yeah, I'm from between Sydney and Melbourne on the border on the Murray River there. So we had influences. The steak I cooked up today, I had charcoal here. And then I've imported some wood. I've got a license to import wood chips. So I brought in some gum tree. It's called Murray River Red Gum. And if you put that on if you put these chips on the fire, it has this really, really lovely smoke. It's what I grew up with as a kid on around the campfire and stuff. But it gives this beautiful, beautiful smoke and just adds a little bit of flavour to the steak. That's just. Is there no charcoal from the UK you like? Is that why you get it from all the way from Australia? Oh, I use the charcoal from the UK, the ordinary charcoal, the kitchen grade charcoal. But I got the wood chips. Hang on, I'll just grab some here. Oh, nice. So they're from a tree called the red gum, and they just have a really, really lovely smoky flavour to them. It's quite strong, and it just gives it a little bit of an edge, something a little bit different to ordinary kitchen grade sort of charcoal type stuff. But yeah. Plenty of good charcoal on that over here, but just the wood chips, just to give it that flavour. It's very unique. It's only sort of from my area that the trees, the branches fall off, and that's where the trees grow, sort of thing. It's all sustainable. They recover it. When the trees go into drought, all the branches fall off trees, so that's like the wood chips.
or make.
Yeah, which is great, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the restaurants there, you travel around the different restaurants cooking steaks, or show as an executive chef. How does it work? What do you do there at the different restaurants, mate?
Well, I've started to become a bit of a show pony, i.e., doing this with you. But generally, obviously, there's 8 restaurants, 9 very soon if New York gets off the ground, which, you know, we've got a date finally for New York. But ideally, I'd like to spend a day in each. So I'll go around one site on a Monday, Tuesday, then work my way round. I do a lot of teaching within Hawksmoor. We have a cook's room of, you know, we're forever trying to develop, make our steak better, make our chips better, and all the stuff around it as well. That's the starters, the sides. We don't stand still. We are like that, you know, 3-star restaurant. We're forever trying to make things better. Things have been on the menu for years at Hawksmoor. Things have only been on the menu for 6 months. We don't just leave it there. We're trying to make them better all the time.
Okay.
You know, we go like unbelievable amounts to get the perfect chip. We've been doing research on potatoes and, you know, how we can get that perfect chip at volume. It's very easy to do it at 30, 40 customers, but when you're doing thousands across all sites, it's a different ballgame.
Okay, yeah, I could imagine, yeah, logistical, very interesting logistics.
Yeah, and remember, you know, it's you know, drinks are important, Hawksmoor, cocktails, the whole package really is. So it's, you know, if you come to Hawksmoor and have a great steak, but your number 1 side, which is chips, is no good, that's not good enough.
Indeed, yeah, indeed.
You know,
I'm a big fan of, is it Lazy Pete's Ginger Ale? The
Shaky Pete's.
Shaky Pete's.
Shaky Pete's, yeah. Nearly right, Lazy Pete's.
Yeah, so, well, he was an Aussie, so I just sort of assumed, you know.
Yeah, he was Australian, yeah. I mean, everyone loves it. Again, I'm not a fan of it, but that's just my choice. But people love it. It's been here for years. Yeah, it's a great, refreshing drink if you like that sort of thing, and obviously you do.
Indeed. Okay, and a little bit about the meat then. I saw that you were out on some farms recently up in Scotland there. So do you source it through directly from the farms, or how do you find your meat?
Yeah, we have a select about 400 what we call high welfare farms throughout the UK. So they're all native British breeds, including Angus, Shorthorn, Longhorn, Hereford. That's and then they cut it down for us. You know, that the welfare for the farms is key. So basically, what we're thinking is happy cows makes good beef equals good steak.
Yeah.
That's the thought process behind it. And you know, once you've got your steak, and you know, people say, how do you know what a good steak looks like? Again, it's so subjective. Who knows? You know, people talk about marbling, but in the UK, we have British beef has lots of intramuscular fat.
Yeah.
So it's graded different to the American stuff. So just because it doesn't have great marbling doesn't mean it's not going to be great. The only true indication is when you eat it, right?
Indeed.
That's generally it.
Yeah.
You know, for me, you're looking for that ruby red color as a sweet smell to it. Marbling, yes, great. Marbling doesn't mean it's not going to be great. So it's the only way to know is know that background. It comes from a good farm. It's been treated well. It's been on a great diet. It's not a stressed animal, and you know you're halfway there. And then you know we finish it off in the Hawksmoor style as we cook it live over charcoal. Lots of seasonings to get that lovely crust on the outside.
Yeah.
A good rest. And serve it with something amazing with, you know, chips, mac and cheese, Shaky Pete's, and off you go.
Perfect, mate. All right, yeah. I mean, in my, I've learned everything from Instagram, right? I was very, you know, simple backyard barbecue cooking through Instagram, through connecting with people like myself. I've learned quite a few things and connected with a few chefs. And the one thing I've sort of figured out is I like a Scottish steak. For some reason, there seems to be the steak that comes from Scotland seems to be pretty good. I don't know what
do you not think that's just mentally though? You decided you're going to like it because it says Scottish beef.
Could be.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's great beef all over the UK. Like I say, we went to Macduff Beef the other day. He's one of our suppliers here, and obviously it's great Scottish beef. You know, it's yeah. I mean, we have lots of the Scottish beef. I mean, the main staple of the menu up here is from the UK farms.
Okay.
But we also have the blackboard stuff, which is all Scottish, guaranteed to be Scottish.
Yeah.
You know, which all our blackboard steaks around Hawksmoor sell really well.
Okay. Is there a cut or a steak that sells particularly well in there? If I can ask, if you can relate, what's the most popular cut that comes out of a Hawksmoor?
I think it depends which site you go to, but generally it's ribeye and fillet.
Ribeye and fillet. Okay.
As singular cuts.
Yeah.
But then there's obviously the sharing steak. The porterhouse is by far the most popular.
Okay.
Followed by the prime ribs and the T-bones. But yeah, I mean, every site's different. If you go to Guildhall in the city, we sell a lot of Chateaubriands, bigger cuts, you know, big burly men, lots of beer, lots of cocktails, big steaks. Whereas, you know, somewhere like Eyre Street, which is more in the touristy area, they come in and we'll sell lots of fillets, lots of ribeyes.
Nice. Okay, well, all right. Well, whilst we're here, any last minute, any tips for all of the barbecuers out there watching, and for all the barbecue folks? Any hints or tips you've got on how to cook a good steak or how to find a good steak, mate? What would be your number one tip for the audience out there?
I think the good thing, one thing about steak is not cheap.
Yeah.
So when you're gonna go and buy it, don't think that just because it's, you know, it's 50% cheaper that it's going to be any good. You know, speak to your butcher, asking them about, you know, where it's from, the traceability, all that sort of thing, and do your research on it. You know, watch people like you, the barbecue lads. I mean, you know how to grill a steak. I've seen your stuff on Instagram.
Thank you. All right.
You know, and
I think that's a good thing.
And there's all you know, you can look at all the videos that we do with Hawksmoor about how to cook steaks online and whatever. There's all sorts of information out there. But if you don't know, just ask.
Okay. Yeah.
Ask somebody who knows.
That's a good point, mate. Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, I'll say thank you to the audience for watching it, and a big thank you, mate, for taking the time out to have a chat, mate. It's an absolute honour to talk to somebody that at the top of their steak game, at the top of their restaurant game, mate.
The steak game, yeah. Thanks, Hilary. It was a pleasure.
All the best, mate, and have a great weekend.
You have a great day, mate. See ya.
Thank you.